in order to stop the influence of China, the U.S. government, or at least Congress, has become more like China. Now, the House voted overwhelmingly, 352 to 65, to ban the app in the U.S., the app TikTok. I'm super nervous about the precedent that this sets. And Reagan warned us about government overreach.
The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
I'll be honest, at first I thought, hey, maybe this might be a good idea to cut off China's influence. But then I got to thinking about it. The language in this bill, at least what I've read, is super broad and will absolutely 100% be used to shut down media that whoever's in charge doesn't agree with. This is a Trojan horse.
They've described the TikTok application as a Trojan horse, but there's some of us who feel that either intentionally or unintentionally, this legislation to ban TikTok is actually a Trojan horse.
Look, I am no fan of communist China. They are raping the globe of natural resources at like 5 times the carbon footprint of everyone else, and they're using slaves to do it. We should definitely be doing everything in our power to break their back. But think about what Congress just did. They just banned an entire social media platform. This will be challenged by the end of the week, if it even gets to the Senate. TikTok is just a symptom, though, of the larger problem. I'm less concerned about China than I am about an entire American generation that cares more about their own vanity and access to stupid dance videos than they do about American superiority and security and patriotism. Why are we not willingly boycotting this app? I'll tell you why. Because our schools and our pop stars and our social icons and all those other people are all conditioning us to hate America. I mean, West Point, just today, like I said, removed honor, courage, and duty from their mission statement. Why is it that every time, and I'm not even on TikTok. There is some weird Carl Higbie account, but it's not me. It's just some other guy who posts pictures of me. Why is it every time the government fails to protect Americans, and that's what this is, the government should have put up guardrails on this a long time ago. We never should have got here, but they didn't. And that's my point. Why is it when they screw up, when Congress screws up, they screw up our national security, is it that we, the people, that have to give up something that we either love, that we need, or something that we enjoy using? I think TikTok is stupid, but millions of Americans don't. In fact, over 1 million Americans make a substantial amount of income from TikTok. And Congress just took the first step to taking that stuff away. People get really mad when you take their stuff on both sides of the aisle. Any issue. I mean, name it. Gun rights, access to abortion, whatever. But what people hate even more than the government taking your stuff is when you personally did nothing wrong. When it was actually the government that screwed up and failed to do their one job, and that was to protect America. I mean, look, 19 terrorists, they fly planes into buildings, and now I got to have TSA feel me up 23 years later every time I get on an airplane. And it's some insane kid in Connecticut shoots up Sandy Hook School. I got to turn in, get rid of, or register a bunch of constitutionally protected items that I bought and owned legally the day before. Government lets thousands of illegal gang members into the country. Now I have to have my bag searched by armed soldiers if I want to take the subway. Mark Robinson, probably North Carolina's next governor, he summed this up best.
It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens, because our rights are the ones that are being taken away.
You, sir, are correct. Again, I don't give a damn about TikTok. I do care about the precedent and the concept that this sets. I've had the same feeling about the Patriot Act, this massive government overreach, warrantless searches, spying on innocent Americans, mask and vaccine mandates, obtaining private records and medical records, persistent and sheer abuse of power. Every time the government screws up, their remedy is to take away my constitutional rights. Then judges that they appointed uphold these stupid things that our founding fathers would have waged another revolution over. I mean, my God, it is pathetic. I find it highly ironic that the vast majority of Congress just voted to ban TikTok, but have made zero effort to seize the hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland owned by China, much of which is just outside of our military bases.
if we wanted to be serious about stopping China, we would stop China from buying our U.S. farmland.
Marjorie Taylor Greene nails it, but they don't. They aren't doing anything about that or the buildings that China purchases in our cities, the trade deficit with cheap goods built by slave labor, all those precious green dream batteries that this administration is trying to force me to buy, made with materials China is robbing from other nations in exchange for ghetto infrastructure projects and expensive debt. No such bill to recoup the trillions of dollars that China cost us through COVID. Why have we not had a bill that gives China the middle finger on all the debt of ours that they own? Call that null and void, just in exchange for all the damage they caused with COVID. No. We will ban an app from a communist country while there is no bill that stops American companies from preventing the free speech of Americans in America based on political leanings. You said one bad thing about COVID on American-based social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you were kicked off your account. God forbid you speak out at a school board meeting. You might be a domestic terrorist. No bill on that one. Don't you dare Venmo someone with the word MAGA in it, or you go to the G-Man's list. You buy a gun with a credit card, you go on the same list. Have that. No bill stopping that. That's a threat to our constitutional republic. But no, we can't get some same consensus of over 300 members to vote for that because they don't care. We have a police state. We already have a social credit score. It's not coming. It's here. We already are. What we are trying to ban from China. And we're just pull the wool right over our eyes. Why don't we have that conversation? No, we would never have that conversation. Let's just ban an app that kids dance on. That'll definitely they'll pin that one on Republicans in an election year. I mean, how's that going to work out for the youth vote for the Republican Party? I mean, great job, guys. Really, honestly, round of applause. This is the dumbest legislation I've seen yet. And all for what? Joe Biden wants to raise my taxes for it. You guys can pound sand. Our founding fathers would have been splitting wigs by now. And what are we doing? What is the so-called Republican Party that I'm a part of, by the way? They're the party of limited government. What are they doing for us? They cut the ATF by 7%. Gee, thanks, Mike. It is pathetic. You guys better grow a backbone if you want to get reelected. Look, citizens should be willingly boycotting China because they are an enemy of America, like we did with the Soviet Union during the Cold War, like we did during World War II. Not because the government forced us to, but because we should always be putting American interests first. That is the bigger problem. I mean, call me old-fashioned or whatever, but most of you folks at home are very similar to me. I get your emails. I check the tag in the back of my shirt before I buy it. I make every effort to buy American. I try to support American businesses. I try to pay them with cash rather than a credit card so they can take their 5% and then track whatever the heck I just bought. That used to be the norm. We used to want to have America on top, and we were willing to inconvenience ourselves to do it. And it breaks my heart that these are not our priorities anymore. I didn't drape flags over my friends' coffins to be laughed at by China. Certainly not to have my countrymen willingly hand over data that's making our enemies billions of dollars and then laughing about it. A stupid app shouldn't even be a concern. But that's our next generation's priority. So much so that Congress felt the need to do something really dumb. This is like the third to last thing we should be worried about. But the same people who let this become a problem in Congress are now trying to clean up a flood with a paper towel. We've become so self-consumed with a device just in our face all the time that we don't even lift our eyes up to see the real world anymore, with real problems, with what's going to come if we don't. Once we get our head out of our rear and start respecting what made this nation great, we won't have to pass these stupid bills because people will care about what is really important on their own. Now, I guess the real test, if this passes the Senate, I wonder if the guy in office who let the Chinese spy balloon fly all the way across the country, whose son took $2 billion from China, mind you, who refuses to call China our enemy, whose campaign is actually still on TikTok, mind you, will that guy in the White House veto this?